I'm sitting here looking at some of the footage from a fishing trip we just returned from. Between my brother and I, we caught a 5-bass stringer of fish that weighed over 33 pounds. Now, run that through your calculator a couple of times. This is going to be one fantastic episode. I'm glad you're with us. You don't want to miss 1 second of the next half hour because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey everybody, so glad you're with us on this week's show. We're coming to you from West Texas today, out near San Angelo, to one of my favorite lakes out here. It's Ivie Reservoir. Now, I want to show you something right off the bat. The normal water level is right in here. However, come with me, I want to show you something. Where the water actually is way down here. This lake is 38 feet below normal level, if you can believe that. Big drought out in West Texas, but there's still 50 or 60 feet of water out in the main river channel. So there's plenty of water and plenty of big old bass swimming around out here. So, first of all, we'll give you a little look at where Ivie is located. It's a great big lake. It's on the Colorado and Concho rivers. And we're going to go out today and do a little bass fishing. They grow great big ones out here in West Texas. The Parks and Wildlife Department's done a great job with the fishery here. We've already got the Nitro Z20 launched and ready to go. We're going to bring you along with us. And while we're out doing that, we're taking you around your local region for your fishing reports this week from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays right where you live. We're in for a lot of fun today. Glad you're along with us. Let's get started fishing right now and get you started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
The Salooner tables are predicting fair game fish activity throughout both days this weekend. Peak game fish activity should coincide roughly with the dawn and dusk hours, so plan to be on the water either early or late for the best action. Expect the sun to rise at 6:51 and set at 8:02. And evenings will feature a moon that is 37% visible. Stay with us. We've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, two-time Angler of the Year, Gerald Swindle, stops by to answer your Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. Lowrance and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder. And Louisiana Travel. Plan your fishing trip at louisianatravel.com.
Big one. Big one. That big dude. Got some good rock in here. I love to fish these banks where you got scattered rock coming out here, and it's also pretty flat. A lot of this stuff's real steep around here. This particular one's flat. There's one. Boy, he whacked it. I pulled it over the top of a rock. It's a decent fish. Pretty clear water right there. You're done. You're all done. Oh, long, skinny, spawned out fish. And I'll tell you, that one has got it down in his gullet. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a pair of wire cutters that I bought at the hardware store, and I'm going to save that fish's life, and I'll show you how. Hang on just a second. You can see down there he's got it right in the corner of his stomach, and I've got these heavy wire cutters that I bought at the hardware store, and I'm going to clip that off. Now all he's got just a tiny little part of a shank in there, less than 1/8 of an inch. That'll save that fish's life. See you, buddy. So that's real critical. If you deep hook a fish, you need to buy these real heavy dikes, these heavy wire cutters. And you can just reach down there and clip that hook off. Don't just bite the line off. That leaves a big long shank sticking out that fish's throat. And it's difficult or impossible for a fish to feed or eat that way. But if you'll cut it down right close to the skin, it'll eventually rust and rot out, but he can eat in the process.
Hey friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox Sports Southwest Louisiana Fishing Report. I tell you what, Captain Kevin's out there in the water right now, got 6 boats again today. Tell you what, with all this rain, wind, cold fronts, murky water, tell you what, fish has been way off on Calcasieu Lake, but we did have a boat call in this morning, already got their limit of 20 redfish. That's a great sign. As far as the rest of the state, talk to Bill Lake down in Houma, Louisiana. Bill's catching lots of speckled trout, catching them under a popping cork using plastics. Over at Lafitte, talk to Captain Tofield Bourgeois. They're catching good redfish, shallow water marsh, throwing spinnerbaits, spoons, and also some plastics. As far as the bass fishing goes, the only report we got this week comes from Lac-A-Seen Reserve right here close to Lake Charles. 12-year-old youngster was out there fishing with his grandma, and he catches a 12-pound, 1-ounce bass. He is so happy and ecstatic. I tell you what, that was his second big bass this year out of Lac-A-Seen. He caught a 5-pounder last week. As far as big bass goes, Lac-A-Seen is a good place to go. Keep in mind, you have to go with an aluminum boat, small motor, a lot of vegetation, a lot of lily pads, very shallow water, but a lot of big old bass.
There we go. He's got it. Got him. That's a good one. Look at this. Big fish. Oh, big one. Big one. Big one. That big dude. Come here, you big-headed, spawned out female. Look at that. There's you a pig right there. Yes. Ha ha, look at that. I caught a great big fish on a little hammer claw. That bait is a fraction as big as that fish is. And he ate it. Look at that little old thing. That little bitty bait and that big-headed fish right there. Well, I say it's a spawned out female. She's still got a pretty good sized belly on her. Look at that belly. There we go. Well, look at this. This place is one of the fishiest looking places you can possibly imagine. Just, it looks like there ought to be a fish on every tree, every stump, every rock. What an incredible looking place. This is the kind of place you want to look for, no matter if you're coming here to Texas or wherever you live. You're on these pre-spawn, spawning, and post-spawn fish. This is the kind of stuff they get around. They make beds right around the bases. These are boat arc trees here. You can see that one. They'll make a bed in about 5 feet of water. You can't see them down there, but they're there. You just pitch and flip around the edges of those, and every once in a while, one of those bites. We're gonna put this fish back before we do any harm to her at all. There she goes. Up it comes. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good one. Switched over to a big square bill crankbait. Trying to pull it down through some of these rocks and some of this jagged standing timber down through here. Kind of pull it through the openings. Fish. Up he comes. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good one. He's got the front hook on my crankbait. Now he's got the back hook. Just don't hook me. Let me tell y'all, we are having ourselves a day today now. Look at that big pig. Big fat female. And I finally got a good one. I've been throwing this square bill crankbait off and on all day long, just knowing that in the spring they bite that deal. That's a Strike King KVD square bill crankbait. And the cool thing about it is that that square bill deflects off of all the wood and all the rock cover. So you just crank it down through there, you don't get snagged, and as soon as it deflects off of something, one grabs it, and that's exactly what happened to that one. Look at that big toad. How about that? Oh my goodness, I caught a good one. We're having ourselves a day. I've got a story to tell you, by the way. Speaking of big fish, I've got a big fish story, and you do not want to miss this one. I'm gonna tell it to you here in just a little while, but right now, we're gonna look at this. These banks are kind of nothing here. I'll show you this bank that fish came off of. There's just a little bit of scattered bodark and some mesquite, a lot of big rocks, but there's a lot of big fish swimming around it too. Rocks and hardwood together is death on fish in the springtime. Let's put her back. Another big girl swims away. We are having ourselves a banner day on O.H. Ivie in West Texas. Hang in here though, because a cool big fish story's coming up real soon.
Hey, I've got some proof for you here that you need to think shallow to catch big bass in Oklahoma right now. Look at these two big ones that George Tolson caught recently at Lake Hudson. The biggest one a little over 8, the other one about 6.5 pounds. Caught them and some other dandies throwing a Hoodaddy Jr. around visible stumps and also some transition areas along bluff walls. And then look at these big ones that Mike Taylor and Jimmy Talbot, Jimmy's in the dark sweatshirt, caught recently at Lake Okmulgee. Jimmy was tossing a chatterbait rigged with a Swede swimmer. Mike was throwing a weightless rattling crawler. Guys doing exactly the same thing, fishing the shallow grass around Okmulgee Lake. Charles Jewell tells me they're also biting shallow at Lake Murray. He's been catching them there good on a 5-inch swim bait. And so there's also some nice crappie in the shallows on Murray as well. And 10 Killer, I'm getting some reports there now that the water's dropping back down out of those bushes. You can catch them in front of those bushes on a spinner bait and small swim baits. Lake 10 Killer for some nice bass fishing. Really heating up across the state. You can catch them right now, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
You know, everybody loves a good fish story, and I've got a great one for you. We came to O.H. Ivie Reservoir here out in West Texas and catching a few fish along. And my brother is my cameraman on many of my shows, and so he picked up a fishing rod, started fishing. Well, lo and behold, he caught the 2 biggest fish of the trip. And I want to show you some video. I actually picked up the camera and started rolling on these. The first one you see him fighting it, this fish on a digital scale wound up weighing 7 pounds and 2 ounces. You don't see us weighing it, but we took the time to weigh it before we showed it and we released it. Then he turns right around a couple of hours later, picks up a rod again, puts the camera down, throws in and hooks another one even bigger. Again, I picked up the camera, started rolling on this fish. He fought it, finally managed to reach down, lift this fish and brought it up, and it was a whopper. And as you'll see, this fish weighed 7 pounds and 9 ounces. So again, my brother catches the 2 biggest fish of the trip. Watch the rest of this video. Another toad.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lou's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Got it. Oh, that's a good one. Look at that. Woo, baby. What an acrobat. Got it. Oh, that's a good one. Look at that. Woo, baby. What an acrobat. That was too obvious a place right there. There had to be one in there. Look at that. Look at that. What a fight this fish is putting up. It's a good one. All right, you're done. You're done. You're done. Big old fat dude. Look at that. Wow, what a day we've had. I tell you. Well, let me tell you what's happened now. The sun's come out and it's changed things up a little bit. And let me tell you what happens. I'm going to pull back around here where that fish was just to show you. The sun's come out and these fish will tighten up to cover. So I'm still pitching that hammer craw. Another fat fish right there. So look right here. See these boat arcs? I've been catching fish just kind of scattered around, but now that that sun's come out real bright, these fish are real tight to these boat arc trees. So let's put this fish back. What a gorgeous fish. He's biting my finger. Beautiful.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you once again by the good folks at Fiberworks. Whether you need a restoration of an older boat or repair of catastrophic damage, Fiberworks technicians have the skills and the dedication to get the job done right. Now this week we're going to talk about smallmouths at Texoma. If you've never done it, you ought to. If you've done it before, you know how much fun it is, and Texoma is one of your best options right now. You'll want to fish those gravel flats where they spawn, adjacent to those boulder areas where they'll hang out before and after the spawn. Use a blade bait. A steel shad in bait fish colors can be cast up to the shallows and retrieved steadily, or with a stop and go approach, and then you can jig it vertically in those deeper areas for those pre and post spawn smallies. And you largemouth fishermen, look towards Eagle Mountain right now. A recent tournament took over 30 pounds to win. They're flipping the reeds. Use your Texas Rig soft plastics, your Nico rigs, your Ned rigs, all of those finesse rigs. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by the good folks at Fiberworks, when good enough just isn't good enough. And be sure and check out Lone Star Lakes on social media to see where we've been and what we're doing when we're not on the water.
Hey folks, I'm Captain Greg Verm here with this week's Fox Southwest Outdoor Report. Hey, spring is here, weather's ever changing, lots of winds are up and down the Texas coast right now. Temperatures have been down in the 40s and even up into the 80s just this past week. But the water temperatures are slowly climbing, which is a good thing. Just talked with Captain Bill Watkins yesterday on Sabine Lake. He said the water clarity is muddy in the lake, but the water clarity along the jetties is much better. Captain Bill did say he's having to cancel more trips than he's running due to winds. Both the Neches and Sabine rivers are beginning to drop, and water in the main lake should begin to clean up soon. Days that he is able to fish, when the winds give him a break, he's catching some really nice speckled trout and redfish. Lime Truce Little John soft plastics is working best. Also the Louisiana shoreline he mentioned, that's going to be the first place to clean up quicker. Get over there to that Louisiana shoreline. Just got off the phone with my brother Captain Clint. He should be pulling up here any minute. He's hiding in the back lakes of Freeport right now from the winds. They're catching some slot reds and flounder on live shrimp under a popping cork in the old ICW along Drum Bay. May 1st, amberjack season is going to be opening. June 1st, red snapper season is going to be opening. We still have availability, and it looks like we're going to be getting 51 days, that's right, 51 days for red snapper. Give me a call to book your offshore, inshore, or nighttime flounder gigging trip. We also have lodging here at Bay's Landing. Hey, I'm Captain Greg. I'll see you next time.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries, powering the world forward. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Rex would like to know, have you ever hooked yourself? And if so, how did you remove it? For the answer, we asked two-time Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Gerald Swindle, for an answer.
Many times. I average honestly hooking myself about 3 or 4 times a year. Matt Lee refers to me as, he calls me eagle claw hands. He said, dude, you got the toughest, roughest hands. He said, you just grab stuff. I get hooks in me all the time. I actually have pulled one from my nipple with a feather on it. I was mixed emotions. I didn't know whether to be excited or scream. I did get it out. I do the string trick and just jerk them out, and it's really fast. And now I've become like the doctor on tour. I've gotten 4 out of Kevin Van Dam. I mean, I get them out pretty much out of everybody. I use the braided line and hold the hook backwards technique and just kind of put pressure on it backwards, use the braided line. The whole key to that is, you can watch it on YouTube, it's real simple to do, but when you commit to pull the hook out, pull the hook out. Don't ease into it. You snap that line like you're setting a hook. You tell them when you hold that hook down and you jerk it, don't ease into it, you snap it. Most people get kind of queasy and they just barely pull it and it pulls the hand over something. You hold the hook still and snap it out.
Thank you, Gerald. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now let's check out the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
Hey everyone, it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. Someone gets their 15 seconds of fishing fame. He's Craig Carpenter of Murphy, Texas, showing a 3.55-pound crappie he caught at Lake Fork, Texas. It is a new Lake Fork record crappie. If you'd like to have a chance to have your picture shown on television, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Big Catch of the Week area on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send us your photo. Just a couple of quick things on our gear segment. If you want to use the right baits this spring to catch fish, not only here at OH Ivie, but wherever you live, here are a couple of good ones. We caught all of our fish on these 2 baits. First of all, on your right is a brand new bait. It's by the Jean LaRue Lure Company. It is a Jacob Wheeler Hammer Craw. It is a perfect size little bait for springtime fishing, for those fish around beds. We had it Texas rigged with a 3/0 offset worm hook. And on the left is a Strike King KVD 2.5 crankbait. It's a shallow diving crankbait that deflects off those rocks and off those logs and brush really well and attracts a bunch of strikes. We caught some good ones on that one as well. The other day I heard someone say that a joy shared is doubled and a burden shared is halved. You and I were never created to be alone. In fact, alone by its very nature is lonely. The Bible says that we laugh with those who laugh, we weep with those who weep. However, to have friends, you have to be one. You've got to reach out, engage people in conversation, make eye contact, laugh, be affable, because we all need friends. I'm glad you were along with us for this week's episode from beautiful OH Ivie in West Texas, not too far from San Angelo. We caught some big uns on this week's show. And if you're coming here, a great place to stay is Elm Creek Village. It's on the eastern shore of the lake. It's got everything you need, clean rooms, great little restaurant for breakfast, ice and snacks and drinks. Everything you need in one location, and there's the contact information. Jerry and his crew do a great job at Elm Creek Village. Thanks for joining us from OH Ivie. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.